Nottingham Forest are third in the Premier League. Third place in the Premier League. The third highest placed team in the Premier League, that is. That is absolutely mental, isn't it? Now, of course, we are still not even at the halfway stage. We've only played 10 games. There's still a long way to go, but after 10 games, you can get quite a good idea about what the level of each team is likely to be in that season. And even though the chances of us maintaining top 4, which I can't even believe I'm saying in any context, is highly unlikely, it does give you a good benchmark and a good potential expectation on where we may end up finishing, what sort of season we might have. So the teams at the bottom end, which aren't us, of course, I don't even really consider the bottom end of the Premier League table right now. You probably know that they're most likely going to be there come the end of the season. One of them probably will pull away. Someone might get dragged into it. The point is you kind of know roughly where each team's at this stage. But what I'm getting at is, what is the realistic expectation this season? Is it maintain top 4? No, that's not realistic. Is it just stay in the top 7, top 8? I would be beyond happy with that if that was the case. Top 10 would also be exceptional. I don't think anyone could undermine that would be amazing if we did that too. I mean, we've gone from having a horrendous away record to an unbeaten away record going back to the end of last season. We're the second best defensive team in the Premier League this season, only behind Liverpool. We're the only team to beat Liverpool this season in all competitions. Factually, we are better than a team that went invincible last season in their league, even though this is not a league game for Leverkusen. But ignore that. Give us the Premier League title. If you look at the amount of goals we've scored, it is a bit less than the teams around us, but the last 2 games we've scored a combined 6 goals in both those matches. So we seemingly are getting somewhere with even scoring goals now. So now that our home form seems to be really turning a corner and we're scoring more goals, we're only getting stronger based off that. Now you could say, looking at the teams we've played so far this season, we've played Wolves, who are bottom of the league, Southampton, who are just above them, Palace, who are 4th on bottom, Leicester, who are 15th, West Ham, who are 14th. We've played teams at the bottom end. But we've also played Liverpool, who are above us, our title rivals. We've played Chelsea, who are just below us, another European rival, shall we say. I don't want to stretch it too far. We beat and drew with those teams. We've also played Brighton, who are 8th, have been higher recently. With 10 men, we drew with those away from home. We very rarely did anything like that away from home before this season. Bournemouth even, they're 10th in the league, and they've just beaten Man City and Arsenal back to back. So we didn't beat them, but we drew with them as well, and we very nearly did beat them in the end. The only team to beat us is Fulham, who are 9th, and it was some dubious penalty really, and we should have probably had a penalty in that game too. And even if it wasn't for penalty decisions, it was just a bad game all round. Just on both teams, not even entirely performance-wise, it was just a bit flat. But the squad depth is something that I find particularly impressive when it comes to this team. The fact that we've got the likes of Jota Silva, Ramon Sosa, players like that can't even get starts. There's not even a world right now where both Morgan Gibbs-White and Elliot Anderson start because of the form of Nicolas Dominguez and Ryan Yates. Nicolas Dominguez at the start of the season was probably everyone's 5th choice midfielder or something. He had even Yates ahead of him, as a lot of people hate on Yates. He's clearly a very good player because he's stepping up again as a top 3 Premier League worthy club right now, can I add. James Ward-Prowse, when he signed, would have been above him. The fact that he is now not a guaranteed starter is crazy, just based off what he's done in his career. Danilo and Sangara were probably above Dominguez too. He was very much like, a backup sort of option, yet he's fantastic, Dominguez. You question how on earth those injured and formerly suspended players get back in, because Dominguez and Yates are playing so well together. And that's what I'm talking about, the squad depth. The fact that we have injuries, unfortunately, but you've got a guy that was considered, quite far down the pecking order, just comes back into the team and is playing probably the best football he's played with us since he signed for us. The centre-back depth is particularly impressive too. In fact, all areas, but I spoke about the midfield. The centre-back is another thing that I think needs to be highlighted especially. The fact that it is just Murillo and Milenkovic every game now is something I don't ever really recall, having such a certain pairing at the back, and not just certain pairing, but such a strong pairing. I've gone on about Milenkovic a lot. I've done a video specifically about him. Go and check it out. It is a particularly good video if you ask me. But he coming in, just his absolute Serbian brick wall that I just can't even believe we bought for such a little amount of money in today's market. Absolutely outstanding centre-back at the back, and it's only making Murillo play even better. Then there's Murillo himself next to him. The fact that you've got Willy Bolly, who never puts a foot wrong, can't get into the team. Morato, who came from a Champions League level club. Obviously, we're in the Champions League places right now, so it's not really anything strange for him. Morato can't get a start either. Amadeus is nowhere to be seen, and I think he's a really, really solid player as well. That's the thing. There's no bad players in this team anymore. You look at last season. There was Divock Origi, there was Montiel, there was Tavares, there was Gio Reyna, who ended up being a real disappointment in the end. There was players that, even if they weren't bad, you just thought they're not up to it. The fact that now our depths of the team are the likes of Balotelli and Toffolo is crazy. Because they're not bad players. They're not the level of the ones that are above them. But by no means are they bad players. They're good players. They're just out of favour. That's the sign of a very good team, when there's no one that I look at and think, I'm not sure about him. Just a bit more about the depth of the squad. The fact that Nico Williams is now bench warmer, when he was probably one of our most important players last season, and going into this season, he now can't get a start because of how great Alex Moreno's been. And I mean, I'm just going to say straight away, sign him up. He's been fantastic, clearly bought into the club as well. And being as I'm basically reviewing the entire team right now, Matt Sells between the sticks, basically ending the goalkeeper debate. Yes, he does make the odd mistake, but every goalkeeper does that. He's been fantastic so far this season, so credit to him. And up top, Chris Wood. Obviously, I've got to mention him, because without Chris Wood, where would we be? Only continues to get better, and really that's the only area of the squad that I think does lack depth, is striker. Outright number 9 striker. Chris Wood, Taiwo, great players when fully fit, but one of them isn't fully fit right now and hasn't been for a long time. We can't really rely on him in the same way. If he gets a goal, that could really get his confidence going. Maybe we wouldn't be worrying about it. But honestly, besides the third striker, in terms of just outright depth, I don't think the squad really lacks much at all. And that's testament to a fantastic summer transfer window, much more considered summer transfer window, which is what everyone was getting really excited by, saying, yeah, we're going to do better this season. But no one thought we would do this well, surely, even at this early stage, because it is still quite early in the season, really. But as I said at the start of the video, what is our limit? Realistically, what is our limit? Because, like I said, it's not realistic, I don't think, to maintain top 4, top 7. I think is more realistic, but I think that will be particularly tested in the next month, because let's just look at our next few fixtures. Newcastle, of course, next before the internationals. That's obviously not quite what it was before. Newcastle aren't quite the same level as what they were before, but they are coming into it off the back of a very big win against Arsenal. They're still a dangerous team. We haven't beaten them at the City Ground yet. We very nearly beat them in the League Cup, or gave them a good go with our B team. So what can we do with our main team? I think we can get a result there, but it won't be easy. But my point really is getting strong with this next batch of games. I really think if you can go away to Anfield and win, and since then we've got up to 3rd place in the Premier League, why can't we, at the very least, go to the Emirates, go to City, go to United and give them a really good go? United, I think it comes down to how good they perform with their new manager. I think the early stages, they probably will get a good kick from him. It just depends how long for. So I think that could be a very dangerous game, if I'm honest, because of that. If it was under Ten Hag, I'd generally say we could go and win, but it's not. City away, besides that 6-0, I think every time we've played City in the Premier League, we've genuinely given them a really good go. And we're the strongest we've been so far in the Premier League era for us. So why not? I don't think we can go and win there. I'm going to be real about it. I do not see us beating City. If we beat City, then I'm going to need a very long lay down. But you know, if we even get a point at City, I'll be absolutely over the moon with that. But I think realistically, that's quite a tough one. Let's be honest. Ipswich at home, it could be a bit of a banana skin sort of game, but I do think we should be winning that one. But I do not want people to be cocky like we were against Luton last season. But I do think, on the flip side, we're a much more mature team now than what we were then. So I don't think we will underestimate them like that. And then Arsenal, I mean, right now they're stuttering quite a lot. Lost to Bournemouth, lost to Newcastle recently as well. So Arsenal are stuttering a bit. I don't think that's a game. I strangely think of City, Arsenal and United. Arsenal is the one we've got the best chance of getting something from. Am I crazy for saying that? I think it's bold to say we would win any of them, even having won at Anfield, but good performance. The odd point, maybe or two, from one of those games would be amazing. I don't see how you can complain about that. Villa at home is not easy, but we beat them last season. We weren't as good as we are now. Brentford away has always been a bit tough for us, but again, let's go there and get at least a point. I think we should be trying to win that one. If we come out of these run of games, basically up until Boxing Day against Tottenham, if we come out of those run of games with good points total and good performances, then we absolutely can dream of getting into a European sort of spot, or at least pushing for Europe. Top 10 right now, I think, seems like the minimum, the way we're playing. If we end up falling below it, I don't think we will. You know, anything above 17th is an improvement, technically, but I think right now we are performing way, way beyond that level. So it's all looking really exciting, but I think the next run of games can be crucial. Let me know in the comments below, everyone, what you think of just how amazing at football Nottingham Forest are right now. I can't quite get my head around it, so please try your best to get your head around it in the comments as well. If you have enjoyed this, please hit the like button, subscribe to Rads if you're new, and I'll see you soon, everyone. Up the Reds.